Hi guys, Ian here. Good morning. Welcome to another video into my channel. And today I'm wanting to talk to you a bit about consciousness, and particularly the relationship between consciousness and the soul, and consciousness and our daily lives. And what started this train of thought off was a video that I watched yesterday by the Hindu guru Nityananda Paramahamsa, and he explained, and I thought it was a really excellent explanation, the difference between consciousness and personality and so on. And he was saying that when we are awake, we experience our minds and our bodies. Yeah. When we're asleep and dreaming, we experience only our mind and not our bodies. But when we're in deep sleep, we experience neither our mind nor our body. Yet we continue to exist. Yet we are still beings. And that this is the nature of consciousness, this continuity, this existence, this life which continues even though we have no experience of our mind or our mind body. And we know this is true, don't we? Because we wake up every morning, we return to completion, the completion of our lives, the completion of our memories, the completion of our experience of this life. Nothing is lost because of that time of experiencing oblivion, that experiencing of no-thingness. Now, does that sound familiar, no-thingness? Because it made me think straight away of the Kabbalistic concept of Ein Sof, which is existence, beingness, without any characteristic, without any attribute, without any activity, without anything that can be described. Hence, Ein Sof, no thing. So we have a similarity, don't we, between our state of consciousness and the state of the Supreme Being as Ein Sof. Now, the Kabbalistic explanation of, because as you know, right, the tree of life can be applied to so many different conceptual structures. But in terms of consciousness, the Kabbalistic theory or association of unstructured consciousness is that of Chokmah. Chokmah is that beingness of consciousness without activity. It's a reflection of the no thing, of the Ein Sof. It is still, it is empty of activity, of attribute, of anything that disturbs its utter tranquility. So Chokmah, unstructured, boundless consciousness that we are, because we are a reflection of Ein Sof. And Binah consciousness is structured consciousness, because as you know, Binah is the mother of form, all form, not just form as in matter, but form as in structure of consciousness. Binah allows our consciousness to be structured, that it might become aware, that it might become, I'm not going to say sentient, because Chokmah consciousness is sentient, but I'll use the word intelligent. Binah allows our consciousness to be structured into an intelligence, if you like. And that made me think about the biblical scripture where Moses has been told he's got to go and get the Pharaoh to release the children of Israel. And Moses says to God, who has appeared, to him, who shall I say has sent me? And God says, I am. Tell them I am has sent you. Eheya Asher Eheya. I am that I am. So clearly we see, right, that God here is not Ein Sof, because Ein Sof has no structure, has no characteristic, has no activity that can be known to us. Yet here we see God saying, I am. So at this point, there is form, there is structure, because it takes structured intelligence to be self-aware and to say, I am. So we see a reflection of Binah consciousness being displayed here. So we see that God is both Ein Sof and Binah consciousness. Now we, in our pure state, are unstructured consciousness, Chokmah, but we also gain Binah consciousness, don't we? Now, how do we gain that? How do we gain structure of consciousness that forms intelligence, that forms a sense of I-ness, which is what Binah consciousness is? Because Ein Sof, pure unstructured consciousness, does not say I, because I is denoting an understanding of self, an imaging of self, that I can say I. So how do we get Binah consciousness? Well, we get it through life. We get it through the activity of the soul. We get it through the soul being the interface of Chokmah consciousness, unstructured beingness, and me, personality. Because the soul is the interface between unstructured consciousness and personality. And it is through life, and it's through the experiences of life, the learning of life, that the soul gleans experience, that the soul grows, evolves, if you want. It's through life that our unstructured consciousness, which is the unity, becomes the I of individuality. And then that took me on to something that Dion Fortune wrote in her book, The Mystical Kabbalah, where she was talking about, well, why reincarnation? Why is that important? Why is one life not enough? And she explains, and this makes sense to me, that the impact of one life on vast, boundless, unstructured consciousness would be insufficient to hold it as a cohesive, to form it as cohesive individuality. It needs repetition. It needs exposure to many experiences. It needs exposure to many lives, that unstructured consciousness can coalesce enough to become permanent individuality. Okay, then, so why is that important? Why is it important that we become permanent, structured I? Because this is what God is, and this is the intention of creation. Not that we are just the unity, but that we also become individuality. We become a full reflection of what God is. That we become fully unstructured consciousness, that is unity, and structured consciousness, that is I. That we become the full mirror image of God. That we become what God is. Yeah, that sounds and feels right to me. That we might be as God is. Because this is the purpose of creation. Anyway, thank you for listening. Great to chat to you guys as always. Catch up with you again soon. Bye for now.